Welcome to today's History, Upper Ohio Valley. I'm Bob Connors, your host, and we have a very special guest for you. Go get the family. Santa is here.
Ho, 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 Bob.
Hello, Santa. Welcome.
Good to see you again. I always enjoy coming to the Ohio Valley and, meeting with you and telling some of the stories that, I tell boys and girls.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's wonderful. And I've been talking to some children around the country. They gave me some questions.
Oh, I'm ready for any questions you may have.
I told them I would ask you all the questions, and you could answer all the questions. The first thing that most of them want to know is Santa's history. Where did Santa begin?
Well, St. Nicholas was the first Santa Claus, and he was born 280 A.D. in an area, Asia Minor, called Turkey. And his parents were very old. They were in their 50s. They went beyond childbearing ages, but they prayed to the Lord, and they said, "Can you deliver us a child?" And Nicholas was born, and they named him Nikola, and that meant the servant of the people in the Greek language. So sadly, they passed away of a plague like COVID when he was just a young boy at 14. And he went and lived with his uncle who was a monk, and he learned and decided to be a priest. And so they left him a fortune, you see, and he used his money, his fortune, to take care of his community, to feed people who were hungry, to provide money for people who needed to heat their homes or provide other things. And he especially loved young children. So if you needed something, and he carved wooden cats and wooden donkeys and tigers and lions. And so he was the first Santa. He lived 63 years. And he began it all. And he became Santa because he loved people. He was hopeful for people for the future. I mean, he was appreciative of the past, joyous for the present time, and hopeful for the future. So the elves decided they needed a man like Nicholas to bring the elves and the human beings back together, because they had been separated after a while way back when. So he was the first one. I'm the sixth Santa.
Wow. Now, was he the first to hand out gifts? Is that what you're saying?
He was. And I do that today. I talk to boys and girls all over the place, and I tell them, well, Santa today, as St. Nicholas did, brings you what you and your family need. So sometimes you don't get all the gifts that are on your list. Boys and girls have long lists of gifts, and I say, well, maybe your family needs money for gas to put in the car, or maybe they need to heat their house because it's getting very cold around here, and so, or food. And so I do that, and still as the sixth Santa, I still do that today.
Now, that's wonderful. I think that keeps the joy in Christmas.
Well, I think that's it. And Christmas is about giving. It's not about getting. Yes. And it's about the celebration of giving. And Nicholas didn't want people to know how he was giving or who he was. But eventually they found out, and they were appreciative of what he did.
Well, that was wonderful. Now, speaking of gifts, what is the most popular gifts people are asking for this year?
Oh my, there are some. For little girls, Labubus. I mean, these ugly-looking creatures. I think they're ugly. I mean, they remind me of the dark elves. You see, because there's a group of elves called the Dokafor, the dark ones. And they're ugly creatures, and these Labubu dolls look like. I'm sometimes weary that some of the dark elves will infiltrate in these dolls, and they create and they cause children to misbehave, and they ruin the celebration of Christmas. So Labubus, of course, all the Gabby's doll houses and Barbie's doll houses and Barbie's camper and LOL dolls, and little girls like scooters and hoverboards, and of course facial care, makeup.
Yeah.
And they have to have a mini fridge to go with the makeup to keep it at a certain temperature.
Yeah,
so,
yes.
But the boys, let's talk about those boys. The most popular gift, 3D printers.
Wow.
And some of those 3D printers, they're very costly to make. And and I tell them, I don't know about 3D printers. And there is the airless basketballs made by 3D printers. just like regular basketballs, but they can be made. And there's a special egg that this is one of my favorite gifts this year. It's a dinosaur egg.
A dinosaur egg.
And in that egg is a dinosaur, and I've seen him in black and white and all different colors. Again, the technology that we use to make these dinosaur eggs. So that's been big. And of course, jerseys. Everybody wants some special jersey of their favorite NFL player, or basketball player. So those are some of the big gifts this year.
That's great. Now, I have to go to this question that many, many of the children ask about cookies. They love cookies, and they want to know what your favorite cookies are.
Well, let's get this all straight. Well, first of all, I love chocolate milk, right? And you leave me chocolate milk. And oatmeal raisin is my favorite, but I like chocolate chip, and I like sugar cookies, and Oreos of all kinds. So get me a nice cookie, and the elves need these little candy canes. I carry 6 elves with me at all time in the sleigh. So 6 of those little candy canes. And the reindeer, they're kind of different. They'll eat carrots or those reindeer food that people make, but their favorite food is the moss that grows on the side of trees and on stones.
Wow.
It's called lichen in a lot of other places, but you scrape that off and dry it up, and they think it's ice cream. So you do all those things for us, and we are inclined maybe to leave an extra gift.
Oh,
So
boy.
we'll overlook some more, bad behavior by boys and girls and stuff. As a matter of fact, a little girl told me, maybe an easier way, she thought she saw that moss in plastic bags at the Dollar General. I don't know if that's true or not, but could be.
It could be. You just reminded me of something I intended to ask you about boys and girls who are naughty and sometimes be mean to each other.
Oh, my.
What do you have to say to them?
Well, first of all, there's 14 days before I get in the sleigh on Christmas Eve. And so if you're naughty or you're fighting or you're talking back, I bring fewer gifts and lesser gifts, you see. So that's important to understand. Now, in days gone by, Bob, the gift for the naughty children were switches.
Was what?
Now, I have children ask me for switches. And I believe they think they are Nintendo Switches they're asking me for. Oh, Nintendo Switch 2, that's another popular gift. But no, these switches are branches of trees, branches of trees. The grandma or mom or dad used to say, go get me a switch, and it better be a good one. So if they misbehave, they were bent over a table or a couch, and whoop, they got a whack with that switch, So the switches are the bad. And I do have a helper, Sverte Peter, Sooty Pete. He brings coal. So sometimes you could get coal or switches.
Well, when I was a child, it was lumps of coal.
Yes.
And I did not want any lumps of coal.
No. Most people don't.
I don't. We'll switch now to a new subject, one that I'm really near and dear to, the reindeer. Do they still play reindeer games?
They do. We started right after Thanksgiving. And the reason we play is that we always need Rudolph to lead the sleigh when it's foggy or cloudy or rainy. But if it's clear out, I let the winner of the reindeer games, and Rudolph gets to play, to lead the sleigh. So we see who can fly the highest in 5 seconds, who can run the fastest for the 100-yard dash, and who can land on a little rug similar to what I see around here. And Vixen is the leader at this point. So the winner of the reindeer games gets to lead the sleigh, and I bring Rudolph back with the rest of the team. So they're always hoping for clear skies so they can go ahead and lead the sleigh.
Well, that leads me to my next question about Rudolph. Now, Rudolph used to have a very shiny nose. Does he still have a very
Still does,
shiny
and
nose?
Rudolph is 500 years old.
Wow.
And you see, we get a new red-nosed reindeer every 1,000 years, so Rudolph has got another 500 years.
Wow.
Now, you bring up reindeer, and I ask boys and girls this question. Those reindeer that I fly on Christmas Eve, are they boys or are they girls? What do you think they are, Bob?
I think they're half and half girls and half boys.
Well, I'll tell you this. It started the 15th of November, and it ended this past Sunday. All of the male reindeer lost their antlers.
Wow.
They fall off every year. And I can't be flying around with antlerless reindeer. They'd have to change the movies, the books, the sweaters, everything. And so I am flying with female reindeer on Christmas Eve because they still maintain their antlers. Now the boys get them back, but unfortunately they lose them at the wrong time of the year.
At the wrong time of the year.
And it's a surprise to boys and girls like it is to you that it's female. Oh, and they put on extra body fat, those female reindeer, in the wintertime.
Right.
So they can fly in colder temperatures.
They just adapt to what they need to adapt to.
Well, yes, I tried flying with those lean male reindeer. They froze up, and we headed for the ground. And luckily, we pulled it out at the last minute. Or Santa I might be the end of the sixth Santa.
Yeah.
They may be looking for a seventh one. I don't know.
Another question that fits right in here is, with the reindeer, is how do you possibly get all over the world? How fast do you go to get to all of these kids?
I get asked this question, and I only fly the reindeer twice a year, the 15th of December, so we're coming up close. And we test the sleigh, make sure everything is operational, and then Christmas Eve. So people ask me, well, how did you get here, Santa? Well, have you heard of the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis?
Yes.
Yes. Well, those beautiful lights in the sky. The North Pole is the closest land mass next to the lights. And the elves and I, we get on these telescoping ladders, and we go up and we capture the magnetic energy of the sun, which helps create those lights. And we create a pathway around the Earth, a portal. And in that portal, time is suspended. You see, so that's how we can get around in just 24 hours. As a matter of fact, there is a portal outlet just on the other side of the St.Claairsville football stadium.
There is.
So I came down the portal, and they left me a vehicle to come over here to do this interview.
Wow.
So that's what happens. Oh, and you may see me around here a little more often. It's because last year I was asked for the first time, do I have children and grandchildren? And I do. One lives in Louisville, Kentucky, one lives in Alma, Michigan, and one lives in St.Claairsville, Ohio.
Wow, right here in St. Clairsville.
So you may see me around. Now, I won't be wearing this red outfit, but I come to visit my children and grandchildren. And I've been known to go to a football game or a basketball game or walk down the street, and I may not even be in red.
Wow.
So I'm always watching. You have to be careful.
Do people recognize you sometimes?
They do pretty often, but I try to play it down. You know,
just keep it quiet.
Yes, because I don't want to create a panic in the streets of St.
Yeah,
Clairsville.
that might do that.
It could.
If I saw you when it's not Christmas time, I'd probably be saying,
You
hey.
would be wondering what's going on,
I
right?
would.
Okay.
I would.
All right.
You know, as you travel around the world, one of the other questions that I keep hearing is, what country of all the countries do you enjoy the most delivering Christmas presents?
Oh boy, that's a very difficult question. It could be Ireland. Because that's always our last stop. Because in Ireland, they don't leave me milk and cookies.
They don't?
They leave me a mince pie and what's called a glass of Guinness. You see, and so I just take a sip of that. If it was the beginning, it has some strength to it, you see,
Yes.
that Guinness does. And if I started out in Ireland, I might miss some boys and girls' houses, you see. And most people leave me milk and cookies, but there's one other place close to here, Fairmont, West Virginia, down there, Fairmont, Clarksburg. And they don't leave me milk and cookies either. They leave me a pepperoni roll and a Mountain Dew at every house.
Wow.
You know, because I think they started and created those pepperoni rolls in Fairmont, so they want to share their bounty
They want to
with
share
Santa.
that to you.
Yes.
That's great. I'm going to drip back to Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
And how is she doing now, and what's she up to this time of year?
She's very busy. And as I said, she talked to me before I came on and to talk to you and reflected how hard she was working and how hard she didn't think I was working. But I have to tell her somebody's got to come here and do this. A wonderful story about Mrs. Claus. Last year was an interesting year because somebody asked me, well, how did you meet Mrs. Claus? Well, our first workshop was in Finland. And the elves and I were making toys in Finland. And there was this beautiful girl. She would walk back and forth in front of the gate.
Wow.
And I told the elves, I'm going to marry that girl someday and make her Mrs. Claus. And I did. And she happens to be 150 years younger than I am, though.
Wow, 150 years younger than you?
Yeah, because I'm 560 years old, and my birthday is the 27th of December, so I'm going to be a year older. So some people say, what is that expression? I robbed the cradle? I didn't quite understand what that means.
So she's only 450 years old?
She is 400 years old.
400 years. Wow. Well, I'm going for 400, but...
You are going for 400? Mrs. Claus has been feeding me orange and green vegetables. I hope the boys and girls are eating theirs, and I've slimmed down about 55 pounds these last 4 or 5 years, you see, and I think she's watched too many of those balance and nature commercials on TV. But everybody asks me, well, how many pounds do you gain eating all those cookies in one night? About 55. I have an expandable suit, you see, and it goes up and down, and then Mrs. Claus works on me the rest of the time to get slim again. No cookies other time.
No cookies.
No.
I have another question here, and this one is from Ricky.
Oh, okay.
And Ricky said, I want my toy train, please. And he said, please leave my toys in the front of the tree.
Oh, well, Ricky, I have to tell you, I think you have to behave better to get that toy train, because Ricky is not on the good list at this particular point in time. He's slightly on the bad side. So Ricky, please, in these next 14 days before I get in the sleigh, get better, and I can leave your presents up there and might leave that train, but you've got some work to do, Ricky.
Well, that's good. I think you should let Ricky have a message ahead of time that he needs to stop being mean.
Yes, mean boys and girls, though, they don't get as many gifts and they get on the bad list.
Wow. And I have one last question, and that is, what would you like to say that I haven't asked you? Do you have a message?
I have found this year that there's the Christmas spirit is stronger this year than I have experienced in a lot of years.
Is it?
People are decorating. They're in a good mood. They're happy. And so it's wonderful. And one other thing that I have noticed the last 3 years here in the Ohio Valley, I have taken pictures with more babies 2 weeks to 6 months old in these 3 years than I had in all the previous years.
Oh.
So there is a, a baby boomlet here in the Ohio Valley.
Wow.
So that bodes well.
That's good.
Because I'll have a busy time bringing gifts to boys and girls as they grow up.
And you'll have more of them to bring gifts to.
That's right. That's right.
That is great. You have anything else for us?
No, I think that's it. You asked me some great questions, and I'm just happy to be here with you again and to visit with my daughter and my granddaughter.
Well, that's wonderful. So, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Bob, and you behave, okay?
Merry Christmas.
Always watching. All right, ho, 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 everybody.
Merry Christmas.